There's an expression, rats off a sinking ship. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you understand the imagery. This is when, obviously, the metaphor of such, the description, the analogy is that when rats realize that all is lost, that where they lived it has been compromised, they jump off. They don't know what to do. It's self-preservation. They're just jumping off. And it's really nothing that fascinating other than when you watch it, you see what's going on. In one of the many storylines of this, TPUSA is rudderless, confused, through, finished, panicky, out of their minds, and they never had it so good. Somebody along the way must have said, whose idea was it to whack Charlie? What were we thinking? Now, of course, you always have to know a little bit of memory here. Whenever you do something like this, you must always stop and repeat the provisos, repeat the references, no matter how many times you said them, because somebody's always tuning in for the first time. And the first thing is to say that as of today, right now, July the 20th, I can say to you unequivocally, I am in no position whatsoever to opine as to who was directly responsible for the dispatch and the murder of Charlie, who knew about it, who was in on it. Can't tell you. I can tell you people who acted weird, either before or afterwards, people who acted in a variety of ways that leads you to suspicion, but that does not in any way indicate whatsoever as to who did it. I'm sorry to break it to you. And if you think you know, you don't. There's simply not enough evidence there. There's suspicion. Let me remind you, there's probable cause, but no reasonable doubt. There's enough to get the ball rolling. There's enough to make us say, you know what, I'm not so sure about that, but that's it. And that's not meant to be nice or play it safe. I mean it. If I thought so, I would tell you this. To reiterate, in case you've just tuned in, on September the 10th of last year, Charlie Kirk was taken out. He was dispatched. He was eliminated. He was expurgated. He was bowdlerized. He was emended. He was lanced and amputated from reality by something of a, dare I say, a professional nature. This wasn't a regular gun. We don't even know what it is. We just don't. We don't know yet. We don't know. We got to remind ourselves, stop. We just barely had a preliminary hearing, and even that wasn't as inclusive as people think. But either way, this was a homicide. As you know, the 5 different separations of death in the criminal justice world. There's NASH is the acronym. Natural, accidental, suicide, or homicide. Actually, unexplained is one, but NASHU doesn't really make any sense. But it's a homicide, clearly. It was a death caused by somebody else, all right? By the way, please remember the difference between an acronym and an initial or an abbreviation. FBI is not an acronym. It's not an anachronism. It's not an acronym. SCUBA is. Okay, aside from that. Now, the next part, because nobody knew what was going on, because the hit team, the people involved, the coordinated efforts, because the theme of what would happen was never thought, never planned ahead of time. This is all a cacophony. For example, when John Kennedy was removed, by virtue of the order of succession, they know that the next person involved is going to be Lyndon Johnson. He moves up. Kennedy's moved out. Bobby Kennedy's gone. We got to figure out what to do with Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover's going to play a role. Then we're going to have some titular theoretical commission, the Warren Commission, that will soft soap it, that will sugarcoat it, and then we just move on and we find out who's staying. You can actually plan it. You can plan ahead of time. The people who dispatched Charlie never thought about that. Kai, by the way, hope you're feeling better there, doll, says there is evidence coming out and you don't point to TPUSA. When will Erica go away? It is affecting my health. So much hate. Trump too. No, there's no evidence, I hate to say it, of TPUSA being involved in this, as being somebody at TPUSA whose name you know, sat down and actually says on September the 10th, we're going to do this. No, no. Remember, you might be confusing weird, hateful, strange, self-serving, very odd, very odd. In fact, the more I see all of these little boys and these little boys kind of talking from Blake to it's weird. I never really realized this. I never thought, oh, I never really got it. But no, unfortunately, if you went to court right now, good luck. Good luck. You can't. No. Now, there are people who are really by virtue of that. A lot of people I would like to bring up, and I would say, by the way, Blake and Andrew, let me just explain something to you. If you're not trying to act like a suspect, you're doing a very bad job. You are acting like a suspect. You are acting. Let me give you an example, Kai. Good point. Let's say there is a woman who wakes up, comes home one night, and her husband is, God forbid, murdered. And she really had nothing to do with it, hypothetically, okay? She had nothing to do with it. And then all of a sudden, when the police talk to her, she goes, I'm not going to talk to you. Leave me alone. I'm not going to tell you where I was. I'm not going to tell you. And let's assume she had nothing to do with it. But this is the way she acts. You would say, listen, I don't know if you want to be a suspect, but you just made yourself one. Why are you doing this? Because it's none of your business. Excuse me. Nobody acts like this. You're not acting like a grieving spouse. I'm not a grieving spouse. I hated my husband. You're not helping. I don't want to help. That's what they're doing. They don't know how to act. These are children. Barron's video last night gave me hope. Okay, good. I appreciate this. I will certainly check that out. Don't look at the interstitial. You're looking at you're like going up to the mosaic and you're looking at a particular tile. Back up a little bit. Back up. First of all, it just started. It just started. Now, if you want to see somebody in handcuffs, if you want to see the TPUSA team in handcuffs, or somebody ratting, if you want to see Blake saying, okay, I did it. Andrew did it. Andrew, you can't keep this quiet anymore. It's not going to happen. Nobody in their right mind ever is part of the hit. John Peterson, was a Diary of an Economic Hitman. It's one of the greatest. If you ever want to see something, I interviewed him before. He is so interesting. This is let me see. Where's he got the actual title of this wrong? This is one of the John Perkins. Excuse me, John Perkins is called Economic Hitman. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. John Perkins. He talks about how people throughout history have been removed and dispatched, and how there are teams. They call them jackals, or they call them, these are the engineers, the people who actually do the removal. You and I can sit all day long and we can plan something, but somebody's got to do it. And when we do it, we got to make sure that our alibi is taken care of. We got to make sure that we're in the clear. There's a lot of heavy lifting. Nobody in TPUSA was involved in that. Nobody, none of these people could. Nobody would ever be even remotely told, listen, understand something. On September the 10th, have your affairs in order because it's D-Day. You know what I mean? You know that thing we're talking about? Yeah, okay. Don't stand too near be careful around that stage, okay? Remember, this is the signal. This is the signal. Be a third base coach. No. Mm-mm. That's not to say somebody else was involved, not these people. Let me also tell you something which is important. Whenever you watch something, anything that happens, watch the JFK assassination. You will see stuff and you think, what the hell? What was that about? How did I miss that? Remember the JFK case where the one Secret Service agent was waved up? He says, what do you mean? And they put Kennedy in the front. You don't put him in the front. All this stuff that happened, all of this, it looks so. Why did you know that? Was it the driver who was in on it? We don't know. All you know is you got to ask who was responsible for this. Who would have known this? In order for you to change the parade route of Kennedy, the mob couldn't have done it alone. The government couldn't have done it alone. maybe J. Edgar Hoover. And plus, people want to be, they want to be, remember, these are professional. These are people who were, they came from an era where they were at war, where the idea of military strategy and the like comes to play. You need almost something that's of a military like precision. None of these Goombas, none of them would have ever been involved in any of this stuff. Now, they might have known, they might have liked it, they might have been happy, they might have felt relieved, they might have wished they were a part of it. But can you believe putting Blake Neff or Andrew Colvin or any of these people involved? Don't think that at the very top echelons of TPUSA, there weren't some security people who might have had connections. I don't know. But remember, as much as we love this, do not confuse all of these glaring, weird reactions like, what is this about? And how did you not know this? And Erica said she was at home when she wasn't. That doesn't mean evidence of murder. It means a lot of things. That's all I'm saying. It's very easy for, and I don't mean to say this, I'm not saying you do it, but some people who are new to this, they've never ever, they think that it's Murder, She Wrote or something, or Agatha Christie, or, Columbo. I'm dating myself with these terms, but they're like in the crime con. They think that, like the murderer, leads, he has a lot of dirt behind him. Well, maybe, yes. It's a very, very simple thing. When in history, throughout history, when people have been decided to be terminated, and he was terminated, obviously, and it wasn't Tyler Robinson, but it's very, very cold and very, very calculated. And you want to have this notion called plausible deniability. You want to make sure that from this point on, I don't talk to you. You never want to be able to say, I ever met with the assassins. I know who they are. No. They protect you. You protect them. You want this to be compartmentalized. You don't want to know these things. You don't want to know anything. Dick Cheney, George W. Bush had nothing to do with 9/11. Nothing. Now, that doesn't mean they weren't surprised. Doesn't mean they weren't happy. That doesn't mean they wish they could have. They're not involved. It's not at that level. Other people are involved. They might have, by virtue of acquiescence, said something. But when something really gets going, you've got to protect yourself. Why do you think it's still covered up so far? Why do you think, was it 3? Why do you think we're like 10 months after? We don't know anything? Think about this. What do we know? There's a lot we don't know. We don't know why Tyler did this. We don't know why Tyler went to the steakhouse. We don't know why Tyler left a note underneath. We don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird. Could it be that he could have been dispatched, and because he wasn't, because he ruined the plan, the progress? It could be. Look, I'm telling you, I'm not here telling you wishful thinking. I'm not going to tell you things that I think. It's Erica. I know people say this. I don't hate Erica as a person. Sometimes we don't like people by virtue of how they act in their official capacity. Erica Kirk, for example, just a nullity. She doesn't really matter. She's not important. But sometimes people lose sight of the message. There's something which also has never happened before, and that's social media. When you have people looking at this, you will have people. Let me say this in a constructive way. Erica Kirk, Candace almost started off at first with a very, very thorough explanation, like this doesn't make any sense, this doesn't make any sense. And all of a sudden, by virtue of something we've never seen before, we saw deep diving. The inspiration for a new group of people, a new group of folks who all of a sudden come out of the woodwork that we never knew about before. We never knew about who these people are. Who are these folks? And how does this work? How does this work? They have you've heard the maybe the autist type, from people have this love affair with autism, and they think it's kind of funny. There's nothing good about autism. There's nothing good or creative, or it's not good. It's just like the word psychopath. People think everybody is a psychopath. It's like, no, it takes on its own word, its own cachet in the real world. But people sometimes said, this is great. And I'm gonna show you. Remember Wolves of Finance, or whatever. He said, wow. Barron, wow. Candace, wow. Constitutional, whatever. Wow. Whoa. Look at this. Somebody sat and looked at every video from the past. Wow. And there was created this new form of, I'm going to call it a gamer. It's new form of gamer. These are the kind of like the homegrown, I don't know what the word is, but people who spend time focusing as a hobby, and they end up being better than anybody else. They're experts in this. It's the old kind of the Murder, She Wrote thing, where she's a mystery writer, but she actually solves crime. And then there are people who say, you know what, this is good. I want to become a part of this. I like this, and it's inspirational. There's plenty of room there. I want to join this YouTube or this platform world, and I want to make my bones. What is my thing going to be? How do I identify myself? Well, you can be one of the, you got to find your thing. What do you mean? Well, what's your role going to be? And I think, well, I don't really know about that. Well, what's my role? Yeah, what's your role? What's your thing going to be? How are you going to, well, I don't know, like Project Constitution. Have you seen them? Incredible. That's a Sam Parker, who is incredible. Barron, incredible. Alfredo, and people who come, they just think, where did you come from? Where did you come from? And they add to the mix. They weigh in, and they're great at this. I've got to tell you something. When 94, whatever it was, during the OJ case, we had just reference point. We had Court TV maybe, and I was radio, morning drive on WABC. And we had, this is not bragging. I hear people do this. This is a matter of fact. Like, no brag, just fact. We had the highest ratings ever. At the time, I have no idea, because the ABC of 30 years ago has nothing to do with the ABC now. Completely different. Okay. But what happened was, I was the only person that people woke up to. There was no Court TV. There was no social media. Nothing. If you wanted to find out, you had to listen to me in the morning. That was it. And I would watch something, and it was just an hour out of a 4-hour show. I did an hour, and people just couldn't get enough of it. And that's all they had. Okay. Cut to today. How deep do you want to go in this? How deep do you want to go? The issue now is, what do you do with the information that you have that's deep? There are things that I've seen where I've said, that is incredible. Congratulations. This means nothing, but that's great. What do you mean? No, it means that Eric is creepy. It means that Colvit's a liar. It means that Blake the snake is a whatever. But that is nothing to do with what's going on. Well, how come the parents haven't said anything? This is a preliminary hearing. It doesn't matter. There's the whodunit, and then there's the trial. Let me say this again. There are two parts of this. There's the just being the Columbo part, where we say, look, we don't care whether you prove this or not, whether this is hearsay or not. We don't care about this. We want to know what happened, who did it, how did it happen. That's one group. That's the most fun. The other part is the court part of it. And the two have nothing to do with each other. Information that's valid may not come in because it's hearsay, or because it's, for some reason or another, objectionable. Does that make sense? A courtroom is not about the truth. It is about the acceptable truth. It is about the agreed to truth. It is about the rules and the truth that comply and comport with the rules of evidence. A courtroom has nothing to do with real life. In real life, there is no such thing as the right to remain silent. None. Ask your parents, do I have the right to remain silent? No. In a marriage, if you're in a marriage and you are suspected of infidelity, you do not have a right to remain silent. It doesn't exist. Katie, by the way, Katie says Barron last night broke the case with a police scan. Excellent. I will listen to that. Now, break the case. Okay, I will check this. Forgive me for this. I don't want to speak prematurely. Are we able to say, okay, and help me with this? When he broke the case with the police scan, who is guilty? Fill me in on this. Who is this? Help me with this. Barron last night talked about who didn't come. There's really no break in the case. I don't know. And I'm not saying this. And let me say something. I have absolutely, positively, 100%. Somebody says, who's Barron? I like this. I love that guy. I have the greatest respect for him ever. And he never tells you that something means something. He just says, look, here's what I have. Do what you want. Let me ask you this. If you provided for the alibi, that's it. Okay? Proven Andrew K. was at Fort Huachuca. Okay. Interesting. That's not going to work. That's okay. If you have an alibi, now listen to me carefully. Remember what you're doing is you're confusing, not confusing, but there's a difference between who did it and what are we going to find out at court. If you have an alibi, alibis are great. Great. It makes complete and total sense. We'll see about that. This is the most important thing in the world. But what I'm trying to tell you is that in order to prove that Tyler Robinson did not do this, that doesn't prove who did. That's all I'm saying. Okay? You understand this? Understand what I'm saying? I'm not in any way dismissing anything. But if we find out that, you know what, this is terrific. This is great. Tyler Robinson. I want to see all of these. Again, let me back up a little bit. Some of the questions don't make any sense. For example, this is important. Why is, and I think I asked Barron himself, I said, has anybody, you don't have to tell me this, I said, has anybody contacted you? Do you know, if anybody says, you tell me if there is any evidence whatsoever. Now, this is in the real world. In the real world, we would have been able to go in and say, I want you to understand something, Tyler. I'm your lawyer. Question number one, forget, maybe Tyler's watching TV. Forget what they're saying. Did you kill? Did you kill? Did you pull that trigger? First question, do you actually physically operate any particular machinery or weapon or rifle? Did you do anything? Look at people that are writing Israeli agents. See, this is where we get into trouble because this is interesting, but we're just kind of pulling it out of the air. Brasileira says, happy Monday, TPUSA. Are the FIFA referees? Yes. Erica is messy, corrupt to the core. You know, that is so interesting. That's another story. You're right about that, Carla. I don't think people know about this, but whoa, Messi. Apparently they tried to throw it for Messi, but he lost. So that's another story. Let me also tell you something which is very important. When you do this, if you introduce anything new, remember, there are the people watching this now. There are people who are going to be watching this later. And there are people who are watching the live feed. With the live feed, if you say anything, FIFA, I watched soccer. My son played soccer. I was hitting the head with a soccer ball. And then we're off. Well, there should be better referees. And then we're off about soccer. Or sometimes I gave one time a wrestling analogy and I looked up and they were talking about wrestling. So you don't know. Whenever you do this, the side stories, it's a whole nother world. People just throw things out. Israeli agents? Could be. Where's the evidence? I don't know where the evidence is, but likely because Charlie turned down Netanyahu, so therefore Israel killed him. Wait a minute, hold it. Could be, but that, and to many people, they're saying, that's good enough for me. Vasi says, you have a neutral, Mac, 7825. Where's Mac? Okay. How's Mac doing? Where is he? The time to ask irrelevant, nonsensical, and the time to state red herrings and non sequiturs is now over. Now is the time to digest and accept relevant and real answers. Okay, good. I'm with you. Excellent. Thank you for that. And thank you for that. Let me explain to you about trolls. Bad word. Sometimes there are people who can ruin a birthday party. You know, your kids are having fun and some parent shows up drunk. No, we're not going to ruin this because sometimes people just love to get in and get attention. And so thank you for that. Just let me know. I'm not trying to cut people. You know, free speech is one thing, but if people are remonstrating, it's a different story. Let's go back to what we're doing. In a real world, you can sit back and you can say, now listen, do me a favor. Charlie was killed. Did you, Tyler, have anything to do with it? Tyler, did you or did you not? And if Tyler says to you, absolutely, positively, did not. Okay. Tyler, were you there at UVU? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Tyler, I hope that if we were to meet with the defense lawyers, they would say, we know all about the steakhouse. We know all about that. Thank God. If they didn't, if they said, what steakhouse? I'm thinking, oh my God, they're setting this poor guy up. How is it that we know this? How is it that Barron or Candace or Colin or whoever, how come they know more than you do? Did you ever talk to your guy? Did you ever talk to him? Okay, the question is, Tyler, did you kill him? Yeah. Did you fire? How did that rifle get there? I didn't put it there. They took it. Who did? I don't know. It wasn't me. I haven't been home in I don't know how long. Where was that rifle? My rifle was at home. I wasn't there. I haven't talked to my parents. Tyler, did you tell anybody you did this? Absolutely not. Tyler, I'm showing you something. Did you write this? No. Tyler, I'm going to show you these texts. Did you do this? No. When was the last time you talked to Furry Head, to Lance? When? Before this. We never talked about this. No. Why did they say you were there? I don't know I was there. Did you go to the steakhouse? No or yes? Without that information, all of this is bullshit. If Tyler says, that wasn't me, I didn't go to the steakhouse, or I did, we can just, we're doing the defense for him without even knowing what's he going to say. If he says steakhouse, look, I'm not a big driver. You got me driving all over the place. 3 hours here, 2 hours here to have a steak. I come back, I'm over here. That's not me. That's not me. You know, and I know that a picture of him anywhere, doesn't mean anything. In the world of internet, you put up any picture that you like, and the other day, I actually posted something until I realized, wait a minute, that's not real. I stopped it. We have community notes. We've got stuff left and right. Let me tell you something. Fort Huachuca, as they keep saying, the Egyptian plains, is never going to come up in this trial. Never. Tyler has no idea what you're talking about. Nobody knows what you're talking about. It might be interesting. Laurie Franz, the CIA connection, none of this. It's interesting. That's the backstory. Remember, 2 issues. Number 1, the whodunit. Number 2, the trial. The trial has nothing to do with the whodunit. Let me show you a couple of things here. And bear with me. We have a lot of stuff to go through, and I want to set your mind. I want to bring you into it. Sometimes, and this is important, sometimes I will see people in the past who say, this is the greatest news. Did you see this? Yes. Okay. Andrew forgot that he was at the Harpole said this, and I'm thinking, too bad this has nothing to do with the case. This doesn't have anything to do, nothing with Tyler's guilt, innocence, nothing. Yeah, but don't you understand? And I'm thinking, do you know when it matters or when it doesn't? I wish we had a thing where like a device where you take the evidence and you drip it in, and if it green comes on, it's like, ooh, that's relevant, or red, it's not relevant. It's interesting. It's interesting. Like, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Huh. I didn't know that. Doesn't mean it's not worth discussing, but is it relevant? No, no, no. Because Tyler, if he survives, and Barron was spot on the other day when he talked about this, if he survives, if he makes it, he's going to be critical. If he sits here and tells you, I'm going to be, if he took the stand, which I hope he does, and says, let me take you through this. You've got this all wrong. Why? You never asked me a question, and you couldn't because I had the right to remain silent. And maybe the defense lawyers are right by just sitting back and letting all this stuff come out. Because we're just swarming. What happens is we are at the end of the trajectory, which is today's topic. The TPUSA rats are cornered, trapped. What is going to happen next? What is going to happen? What is going to happen next? Now, a couple of things. I want to give you an analogy. Please let me do the analogy and don't fight the urge to go with that. Fight the urge, as it were. Let me see if I can explain this to you. There was a story I was listening to today, which was very interesting, from a person by the name, her name is Maureen Callahan, about Howard Stern. Okay, Howard Stern. I don't want to talk about Howard Stern, but I'll give you as an analogy. Howard Stern is over and he fired all of his people on his team. They came out of it. He basically fired everybody. And Howard Stern, this is an analogy now, I'm not going to talk about Howard Stern, but does not understand that the next trajectory, the next part of his life has not been figured out. He lost track of the message. He lost track of where he was going. The thing that brought him to the storyline, the thing that was important, was that he was an average man with a family and he hated his life. And this was when he first started and people loved it. He lost all track of that and became something that he's a billionaire, but he's irrelevant. Okay. TPUSA today has lost all focus on what it was. When they killed Charlie, they killed everything. Everything. They never found a replacement. Now, when I say they, remember, the people who are there, the people, if you sat back and you said, Andrew, listen to me, Blake, whoever you want, do you miss Charlie? They would say, not only do I miss Charlie, I miss the money, I miss the security, I miss the jets. They're talking audit. This show is over. It is done. We're not even going on campuses anymore. We don't have any. Do you know? Let me throw this out there. If you were a creepy heterosexual male predator, do you know what it's like to go on a college campus when you have nothing but legal, for the most part, 18, legal young women who are coming to you seeking guidance? I mean, if you're a creep and a lech, this was the greatest thing ever. Because I'm a rock star and I'm here and I'm not offering you big time, and I'm offering you salvation, honey. And I'm here. If you look at these characters, I don't think they ever avail themselves of that because whatever reason. Do you think if I said, hey, Andrew, yeah, how do you like doing this now? How do you like being Andrew now? How do you like this? If you were involved in this, which I'm not saying you were, I don't believe you were, but if you were, is this what you wanted? Are you better off now? What about you, Blake? Blake, you're a laughing stock. Blake had it made. Nobody knew who he was. I don't even know how much money these people made. It was great. Charlie was out. They loved it. They had power. Let Charlie take the heat. We're doing okay. Whatever it's worth. Do you think, seriously, do you really think that they're better off? Like, yeah, got him out of the way. Do you? Does anybody think this? Does anybody think that the people now, anybody say, isn't this great? We get to do the Charlie Kirk show by ourselves with the name Charlie Kirk. The money's pouring in. Our name, TPUSA, is kind of like it's like a joke. It's like Shinola. Remember years ago, there was you don't know shit from Shinola. Well, now there's a Shinola company, but it was the worst name you can have. There was a candy, there was a diet candy called AIDS, like AIDS in the 70s. AIDS. It was this little diet pill, and well, how'd you lose weight, Dave? AIDS. It just didn't work. Things changed. TPUSA is a shit. And you know what happens? People in CPAC are getting confused. They're trying to say, we're not TPUSA. We're not involved in this. So let me ask you something. Do you think anybody right now today, take all those bastards, do you think any of these people think we are doing terrific? How much more money was offered? Don't know. Steve says, can we revisit the latest version of the medical examiner's report on the cause of death? Wonderful. Absolutely. We'll do that. But let me just finish this one thing. Remember something. Is there anybody here, seriously, is there anybody here who thinks that, and again, you're just imagining this, Andrew, go down the list, that anybody says, this is great. Charlie's out of the way. We're in charge. Now we get to do what we wanted to do. Anybody? Is there anybody here who's happy that Charlie's gone at TPUSA? I'm being dead serious. Is anybody saying we are in high cotton? We are doing great now. This is the best thing. Whew, thank God he's gone. This is great. Nobody's looking up our ass. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Does that make sense to you? Now remember, just because something doesn't make sense doesn't mean they're not going to do it, because these people are not the smartest people in the world. But you got to ask yourself this question. Why do you think your life is over? You suck. Tell me one thing. Just do me a favor. Stop for 1 second. We talk about cui bono, also cui prodest. Who benefited? Who benefited? Somebody says, Erica is happy, CK is gone. Do you believe that? Do you think Erica is saying, I'm doing great? When Erica came out like this, the old days, she was with the mom and she was with the kids. Remember when Erica was loved? Remember when I don't know how long ago that was, but remember 10 months ago? Remember when Erica was loved? She said, you know what? This isn't too bad. I'm a mom. I'm Charlie's wife. They love me. Okay, it's not, maybe I'm not, an actress, but I'm coming out and I'm Christian and they love me. I've got hair and makeup and I'm Charlie's wife and they love me. I'm getting older and okay, fine. You understand this? I'm doing it right. Do you think right now Erica says this is great? Do you? Do you really believe Erica is glad? I mean, happy. Not that she's resolved herself, but she said, whew, thank God he's out of the way. I never liked that guy to begin with. Do you think so? You're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. I don't know what to believe with her. I really don't know, because her public persona is not connected to anything even remotely looking like reality. But do you think that? Do you honestly think, whew, this is fantastic. I am loved. Loved. No way. She's got to call Dana Lash to say, listen, you got to help me. Folks, guys, I need the widow, I need that. Yeah, they help me. I need you to pick up the grieving widow thing. I am SOL here, my friends. Insight says people who weren't really behind Charlie's brand, people who weren't really behind, they might not have been behind his brand. Well, let me tell you something. Do you know how much, thank you, by the way, do you know how much money they're making? Let me ask you right now, if I sat down, seriously, sat down with Erica, I said, let me ask you something. How does it feel? Every time you've got to have everybody, you've got to have Lara Trump, everybody who always talks about you, talks about defending you, like, leave her alone. Vassie says, yes, she is happy. He is gone, but did not expect the lack of adoration that makes her sad. Okay, interesting. I don't know enough about their interpersonal thing, whether she hated him. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Could be. But right now, I guarantee you, if I said, hey, Erica, you happy? She'd say, absolutely not. I never realized I suck at this. People hate me. Yeah. People hate me. You know who didn't know this? You know who that? Brigitte Macron had no idea. She said, really? Yeah. You're fucking weird. Really? Yes. And I'm not bringing up the guy, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think for 1 minute Erica ever honestly thought, these people can't stand me. And do you know why they don't like you? I'll tell you why. It's nothing that you did. It's who you were. You see, you were great just being an analogy. After silent movies, when von Stroheim and all these people went into talkies, all of a sudden you meet somebody, you've got Clara Bow or some starlet who was like, oh my God, she comes out, hello, how are you? And you go, who are you? I'm Clara Bow. This is the way you talk. Rudolph Valentino, they said, was great as the silent movie. He couldn't speak English. He was like horribly, a thick accent. Some people were, so they realized, oh shit, is that what you sound like? Is that what you sound like? See, Jackie Kennedy was the reverse. Jackie Kennedy, when she left the White House, you never heard from her. She just did her thing. She never made speeches, never. She was popular there. So all of a sudden, here's said, oh, here's Erica. Hey, because she was always like this. Hi. Oh, because you looked at Erica and you said, oh, she's a mom. Oh, the two kids. Oh, that's good. Because you love Charlie and you thought, okay. You thought, well, maybe she's okay. You didn't think about Erica was irrelevant to you. You didn't know who she was. You didn't know about her parents. You didn't know about Erica Franz or Lori or the whole family. You didn't know any of this stuff. You were kind of groovy. Hey, that's all right. Then you move Charlie out. She comes out and you realize, just like this silent movie actors, you think, oh my God, what's the matter? She's dumb as rocks. She's an idiot. And from the get-go, nobody said, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't do the casket thing. No. You don't know when you're making a fool out of yourself. No. You can't do a Zoom call or whatever because they remember this. You're 6 days. You can't do this. From the beginning, she was off to the races because you realize what a dumbass she is. And she's stupid. She's stupid. This is the problem, which is the most, and it just, pow. Charlie was the buffer. Charlie provided okay, everybody leave her alone. This is the mother of my children. Okay, fine. So now, honey, guess what? You're involved. And they hate you. Don't kid yourself. Nobody, listen to me carefully. Nobody loves Erica. They hate the people who hate her. They hate the Candace crowd. You're in the Candace crowd. They hate you. So if you don't like her, they love her. Their love for her is not real. It's not genuine. So let me ask you again. Whether if she actually says, whew, I am happy, she is certifiably insane. Let me also say something. Do yourself a favor. Listen to me. Do not hate her. Use that as an expression like, I hate the way she acts. I hate this persona. I hate what she said. That's okay. Don't ever lose yourself in hate. Believe me, you're no good to anybody. Insight says, very insightful, says, selling your soul comes at a price. The devil promised fame. He didn't promise peace and joy. Well, she it's very good. She sold her soul after somebody killed her husband. I'm going to say right now, she had nothing to do with killing her husband. Nothing. I mean, it might have been a good movie plot, but it just never happened. She had nothing to do with killing her husband. Now, how she reacted? Did she sell her soul after him? Okay, maybe. When did she? And it sounds like I'm standing up for her. I'm just giving you reality. I'm not sticking up for anybody. I want you to. Sometimes everybody's getting so. Did you see that? We found out that the tail numbers on the say, whoa. That's interesting, but that's not critical here. That's not critical. No, you don't understand. There was a guy at a gas station who saw Tyler. Okay, that's good. Is Tyler going to back this up? If Tyler said, yes, thank you. I was there. I was there at the gas station. Yes, I was at that steakhouse. Yes, my lawyers already know about that. I hope they do. You're on raw nerves right now in anything whatsoever, anything, any news, anything, a new video, a new reference, a new witness, a new analysis. Thank you, so-and-so, because they looked at this HDE had, this is very good. The exhaust pipes were different and okay, that's good. Very, very interesting. Very, very good. Don't lose your mind in this. Back up a little bit. We've got a long way to go. Long way to go. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? Some of the things that you were saying, somebody before said, who's Barron? I don't want her to have anything to do with elections. Okay. I don't think she will be. Well, funny you should say that. Funny you should say that. This is the part, this is where hope that your enemies are stupid. Let's back up and go to J.D. Vance and his wife, Usha. J.D. Vance is one of the weirdest dude. Oh, look at this. Hold on. I got to see this. Well, before I forget this. Have we got this? I love this. Somebody says, Lionel, I disagree. She did not kill Charlie personally, but she was in on the plot even before she married him. In on the plot to kill him? Or did she target him as somebody she would marry? Oh, I'm with you on that. But are you saying she was a part to kill him? Remember, let's don't get carried away. You're saying that she says, hey, mom, yeah. The grifter mom, like they're like gypsies, the famous, the Romas are all like murderers. Not that they are, but history. They're going to say, see that guy, Charlie? I'm going to marry him. I'm going to sit this one off a while, and then we're going to take care of that. Then I'm going to inherit everything, and I'm going to be the star. This is interesting because I live in a world of, there's no evidence of that. Could be, but no, sometimes to say involved, what does involved mean? Look, either you're involved in the murder of Charlie or you're not. To know about something, is it lie hop or my hop? Make it happen on purpose. Let it happen on purpose. No, this is very important that we're having this right now. This is very, very important because maybe you know something I don't know. I just don't think there's any evidence of this. If there's one thing about Erica, there's one thing that she's not a killer. She's a lot of things. She's a bullshit artist. She's a phony. She's shallow. A killer who said, yeah, I'm involved in this. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna stay off over here, but you talk to the hit team and make sure. No, absolutely not. No way. She's not that stuff. Do you think Tyler's a killer? No. Do you know what this is? I hate to say it, but there's a lot of working for it. And I don't know. I would venture to say none, but I don't know if any of these people have ever been investigated by the FBI. I don't know about this. You understand this? I like this. Look at this. Somebody says, Lionel, Erica Kirk is involved. Her behaviors are evidence. Evidence of stupidity or evidence of being involved. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. You can say that. If this is your opinion, that's it. But if you want to get to the bottom of this, and you want to go out there and you want to say, I think that Erica's involved, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, you're out of your mind. I can believe how do I say this? I can believe the shooting was for planned contingency. On Erica? Yeah, somebody else did. You tell me where the evidence is and not whether you would be surprised. It's a very interesting difference. Would you be surprised? I would 100%. To be a part of to be something of this level, Erica Kirk on the level of hitman, hit team and that kind of thing, actual wet works, people with like real black hats and whatever. The last thing that anybody would ever say, don't let her near this. Don't let this little stupid girl, hate to say it, not that girls are stupid, but she's a stupid girl, get anywhere near this. You think Blake Neff, you think this guy, he will crack under pressure the first time anybody the first time he says, yeah, I'll tell you how this happened. The first time I met with these people, they were foreign types. And I had heard that there was a plot to take out Charlie. You want Blake to know this? Complicit because she was foreknowledge from Huachuca. Okay, well, remember something. There's a lot of moving parts here. It could be. But let me tell you something. Just for the time being, that's never going to come out in court. Nobody's going to get there. And I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Let me also explain something to you. One of the things which is important, very, very critical, is that you know that whenever there's any kind of whenever there's any kind of a drill, that's when something bad happens. You see what I'm saying? Let me back up. On the day of 9/11, there might have been maybe 40 drills, 40 actual hijacking drills that took place on 9/11. And the reason why they go hot. They go hot. Absolutely. And they can go hot. So you got to be careful that if there is Fort Huachuca, this one's meeting here, and you're talking about all these people, if all of a sudden you can be a part of something and realize I don't understand that I'm a part of an actual hit meeting, but they can go hot. You could be a part of something. There's a very good chance that Tyler was lured into something he didn't know about. We don't know the whole story. He might have been there thinking, all right, I'm a weird kid. I wanted to go. I wasn't crazy about Charlie. All right, I went. Next thing you know, I'm the patsy. They had me. They suckered me into this. I didn't know I was there. Because it's almost like you bring people in and then all of a sudden they go hot, so to speak, as they say. You see this a lot of times in warfare. They bring people up, they do a drill, then all of a sudden somebody starts firing and we have a war. And you just happen to have all of your teams advanced on the border pursuant to a drill. But they weren't there for the drill. They were there for the war. They didn't know this. They thought they were there for other reasons. Katie says, Zachariah, Koreshi, yeah. And alarm man in the police scans with a green Armada going to ERS looking for Charlie Kirk. Cops approached at the ER. They ran cops sitting on, I guess, Charlie's apartment. When sample green Armada pulled up, it was FBI and a marshal. Wow. I'm going to read this later. Thank you for that. That's almost like a code. Okay. Very good. Very interesting. Do me a favor. That's part of the what happened versus that's not going to come into court, but that I can't dispute that. Lionel is wise not to over speculate. However, you can honestly claim that she isn't an honest person. Oh no. Most people are useful idiots and schemes. Oh, absolutely. Laura says, thank you. Oh, absolutely. She is somebody who, no, see, To say somebody's a killer and somebody who's evil, somebody who's like a Meghan Markle, like somebody who's a conniving bitch. I'm just saying. Oh, absolutely. She is. You got to understand something. I separate these things in my life. This is the woman that I would run from. I've met these dames. I cannot stomach them. Phony, shallow. I can list so many for you. Killers over here, different category. Vassie says, to the person who said J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk would have threatened his future presidency. Potential guess who benefits with no CK. Interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of, by the way, qui bono, qui prodest. Well, there's a lot of who benefits from this. Who benefits from this? J.D. Vance gets in the way of Marco Rubio. If something happens to J.D. Vance, you're going to blame Marco Rubio? You're going to look at him, but you're not going to blame him. Everybody who moves out of the way is critical. Everybody who moves out of the way. Let me show you something which is interesting. Remember, there's a lot of moving parts right now. I want you to imagine this as a mechanical watch, a beautiful AP mechanical watch. We take off the back cover and there are things like, what the hell is this? That is the watch. That's the horology. That's the movement. It's so complicated. That's what this is. You're focusing in on a spring. I'm focusing in on everything. That spring is interesting. That thing is interesting there. That gizmo that keeps vibrating is interesting. That's just a part of it. And let me also say something. It's very difficult to put things and say, okay, I'm balancing something here. I'm balancing. It's like, when I hand something to you, it's like, okay, hand this. You put this under your arm. Okay, no, take this, put it under this arm. Okay, put this, or I put this hat on, and you put in your legs, you put in your pocket, and you're saying, I can't hold one more thing here. It's all going to fall down. That's what so many people are. They're overwhelmed with this. It's a cascade. And what they'll do is they'll see, listen, there is so much shady stuff going on. Remember, there was a murder that happened. Many branches of TPUSA were being infiltrated for would-be trafficking of many things. Eric Kirk and others planned it a long time ago. Charlie realized it in time. Could very well be. We'll see. Absolutely. Could be. Oh, listen. You want me to come up with some scenarios for you? I'll do that for you. I'll do this. Absolutely. Do I have any evidence of it? No. But I'll give you like, We all have to understand. Oh, you skipped mine. Hold it, Kai. Wait a minute. Hold it. I'm skipping Kai. That ain't right. Just a minute. Kai. I'm going to go, bro. Why do you think TPUSA is going to collapse if not for being involved? Oh, very, very simple. Because whatever happened, whoever was responsible for this, whether it was something they did, wanted to do, TPUSA is Charlie. TPUSA was, is, always will be Charlie. When you took Charlie out, it dies. That's it. It's the brain, the heart, the circulatory system. There is no TPUSA. There is no movement. There is no nothing without Charlie. It's like thinking somehow that I mentioned to you Howard Stern. If Howard Stern dies, there's no Howard Stern show. Robin's not going to do it. The writing team's not going to do it. Gary Delabate is not going to come on and do the Howard Stern show with Gary. It doesn't work like that. These idiots don't know this. You can't do the Charlie Kirk show just to say the Charlie Kirk show. They are so, I think it's immature. These are little boys. These are very unsophisticated. These people have never had any. These folks are not killers. They're not military. They can't strategize. They live for the moment. They're a bunch of little girls. Please don't take this the wrong way. They're a bunch of little girls, little effeminate little twinks running around acting like mean girls, and we're cool. And I am telling you, they had it made. Charlie was the golden goose. He was it. He was everything. When Charlie went away, there's no more TPUSA. Nothing. Now, if it were anybody else, could they have salvaged it? A lot longer than what's going on right now. If I ran TPUSA after Charlie's gone, after Charlie is gone, all right, I would have said, first and foremost, nobody goes on TV, nobody goes on social media, and I would take one look at Blake the Snake and say, you ain't going anywhere. You're going home. You're going home. You're not going to get anywhere near this. Katie writes, right, not in court, but I guess Barron's episode will explain better. Only so many letters I get. Erica Kirk, no TPA did it. EK didn't do the deed. FBI and okay. Yes. We will see this. Listen, let me explain something to you. Again, I'm stopping, I'm starting, I'm going back. This may be very, very difficult for people who are trying to follow me because I'm stopping, I'm starting. What I wanted to intend to discuss, I'll just wait until later. These other people who are just muddying up the works. Let's go through, okay? Number one, agreed. Charlie was hit by an assassin, an assassination team, a group. I don't believe it's one person. One person does not need, you need cover. You need, whenever somebody does something, you've got to have escape. You can't get caught. You spend more time on the escape than you do the actual act. How do you get away with it? How do you get away with it? Okay. Number one, we all agree with it? Yes, this was not Tyler Robinson. This was not Tyler Robinson. I've been through this a gazillion times. Now remember something. You're going to have stories. This is a terrible, terrible novel. It's the worst. If you went to Simon & Schuster and said, I have this story. And the story is there's this charismatic guy named Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is killed. Charlie Kirk is assassinated. By who? I don't know. A lot of people could have benefited from it. Wait a minute. This is a mystery? Yeah. Well, who? Well, Charlie Kirk pissed off a lot of people. Do you think they killed him because he pissed off people or because he got in their way? Well, both. He was pissing off Israel, AIPAC, Bibi, Ben Shapiro. He basically was saying, I'm going to be pulling away from you. Midterms coming up, elections. That's number one. Number two, there were some internecine groups. I have always said, if I had to put my money on something, this is my nature. I always say, I don't go with the obvious. I go with the one that's like the second best. Who did Charlie really pose an immediate threat to? Elections? Maybe. Did he cause people for Trump to win? He certainly helped. Did he cause him to win? I don't know. Because believe it or not, more people in this country then, maybe not now, did not know who Charlie Kirk was. I mean, this may surprise you. It's like people don't know who wrestling is. They do, what? You've never heard of this? No, never? You don't know who Candace is? You don't know who Joe Rogan is? I know people who don't know who Joe Rogan is. So we always live in our world, and we can't imagine anybody ever does not recognize the people that we consider to be it. But the people that I've always, if I said, you know what, you go there, Baron, you take this. Take this group. I want to know about the TPUSA group. Inside says fall guy, useful idiots, paid actors, propaganda. Absolutely guaranteed you're right. This is the requisite for every hit like this. They're all like this. Sirhan, Mark David Chapman. This is where MK Ultra comes in. You always have, why they do this. Let me go back again. If I ran it, if I said, okay, I'm going to do the hit, okay, good. Do me a favor. Thank you. Where's he going to be? Okay, I'll take care of it. Thank you. What are you going to do? Thank you. Now, I'm changing subjects, but I'm backing into it again because it made me think of something. What would I do if I had to do it? First of all, get rid of Tyler. I don't want a patsy. This is my idea. This is how you know it's a Lionel hit. Okay, you ready for this? Who the fuck did that? Pardon my French. I don't know. You? No. Blake, do you know about this? No. Andrew? No. Erica? Don't look at me. Wait a minute. Did somebody give him a maybe? Did you? Who gave? Because the first one to know is who gave him that microphone. That's the issue. You could do the steakhouses and all this stuff. That's great. That's the alibi part. That's the Tyler part of it. You worry about the alibi. That's okay. Who gave him that mic? Because I hate to keep bringing this to your attention, but my good guy, I thought this guy was a drool, but now he's my hero.
And I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me.
Did you hear this? I know you're getting bored. I'm saying this is the most important thing in the world here. This is how everything just changed.
Kill people closer than I saw the camera. And I've never seen a shirt move like that. That looks like an explosion to me. Just the fact that no one started doing first aid to Charlie.
Now that's different. That's afterwards. Now you might say to yourself, wait a minute. Why didn't they do first aid? Were they in on it because they wanted to make sure he was dead? Yes. Or they could be incompetent. This isn't Occam's razor or anything like that. This is the old, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. I don't know. Why didn't they call 911? Why are they on the phone calling Ben Shapiro? I don't know. Does it look bad? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Does it prove anything? No, but it looks real bad.
Kirk, they were more concerned about getting SIM cards out of cameras, removing cameras, and then getting him off the X somehow. There didn't seem a lot of concern for his life. It seemed like just clean it up. And then, I've been told they paved it over a couple days later. And then you get Erica Kirk behind all the razzle dazzle, and she's really quick to forgive the alleged shooter, which technically says that was him because I forgive him, but that you can't forgive Candace Owens for having an opinion or asking questions. And they mock people by saying, oh, I'm just asking questions. Yeah. I'm a SEAL Team 6 sniper. I'm asking a lot of questions. No one wants to answer them.
Okay, now this is big. Our good friend, who is it? Viva, bless his heart. I kind of liked it. You know who he looks like? He looked like before he cut his hair. You know the guy Bustamante? You know that CIA dude with the beret and the crazy Haku hair? You know that Tanga hair? Well, he cut it. They look like, what is this? Is this anyway? Good for you. This changed everything because up to now there was there's a guy named Tyler. Not anymore. And he said it exploded. It looked like it exploded. He and General Blaine Holt said, that's it. Stop. Hold off on the steakhouse. Hang on a minute. We'll get to that in a moment. That's interesting. Wait a minute. I'm still worrying about this. How did they do it? Now you're having this acceptance, like, okay, all right, maybe she's right, changes everything. So the first question is, who gave him the mic? Anybody tell me that? Do you know who gave him the mic? Because remember, they also said it was right. He said it was an exit wound. And we played this a million times. You've got these people saying it was an exit wound. Who gave him the mic? The guy who said, here, put this on. If that was it, where is the mic? Where is the mic? Where is the result of the mic? What was found in the dissection of the neck? I'll get to that later. We'll get to the steakhouse or the Dairy Queen or whatever, or the car with the exhaust, and whether he was 6 feet tall or 5'10". We'll get to that later. That's important. That's important. This is critical. We're in the emergency room. We got a patient. The patient's going to die. And I've got to do something to stop this bleeding. We have to act now. This is our issue. What his lifestyle was, whether he has a history of heart, I don't care about that. We're going to get to this. This is it, number one. Number one, who had this mic? Who were the people who were there? We don't even know. Hey, Kash Patel, I would have done this. Nobody leave. Nobody. All of a sudden, where are you going? Stay where you are. You don't get out of here until I talk to you and you say, all right, look here. Look at this camera, kind of like a Men in Black thing. We're going to take a biometric of you. You can go now. And we're going to find you. We will have a map. And they can do these kettle things immediately. Nobody move, nobody run. And on that stage, you're not going anywhere. And I want every single person on that stage in my interrogation room. What is your name? Yes. Okay, you're on this picture here. You're running. Good. What is your name? Good. Thank you very much. Did you handle the microphone? No. Who handled the microphone? Who gave that? You. This is you here, right? You're taking the SIM card or the SD card out? Yeah. Who are you? Is that you? Good. Write your name down. Why did you take that card out? We're not going yet. You. What were you doing? What was this? What was this shit? What are you, a third base coach? What are you, giving signals? I'm not giving you signals. Who were you? Okay. Can you imagine what it was like if you sat there and said, honey, do you realize we sat behind this guy? How would you feel like if you sat behind Charlie? You sat behind him. That bullet, whatever it was, that shaped charge or fragment, could have veered, ricocheted. This is wow. But that's where I want to go. Something exploded. This is not a conventional. You've got our friend Rob O'Neill who says this was in essence an exit wound. Stop. So do me a favor. All you people out there, Dana, you were the widow, this other one too. All of you can go, fuck yourself. We have nothing to do with you. We're not going to acknowledge you. We're going to talk about this. Because they're trying to muddy up the work. They're distracting you. They're throwing you off. They're talking about stuff. We'll get to Fort Huachuca. I'm not saying it's unimportant. Not now. Not now. This is the most important thing. This is it. This is the gravamen. Who killed him? How did he get him? Stop right there. Get that medical examiner. Show me right now. Do you have a bag? Yeah, the bag where you took all this stuff out. Show me what you dissected. Show me. Do you have a video of this? Who was present? When you dissected the neck here and you found out who was the one who said he had a bone, a vertebrae of steel. Okay, you come in here. Where is your information? Is this all there is? How do you know that there wasn't this weird something? Ooh, you can even see the name Road. Yeah, get rid of that. You found metal fragments. You're saying they've said casing and jackets, and you found bullet fragment, not a shape charge. This doesn't have spiraling. This doesn't involve, bullets have glands and grooves, and they has to spiral in order to, to be connected. This doesn't. Okay, Rick Cutler. All right, we're going to get to Rick Cutler. Rick, come on in here, Rick. You sit down here, okay? This is the most important thing. You sit down here. How did this happen? That's what I want to know. Everything else. And the very first thing, I'm going to do a motion to dismiss. I'm going to go to the prosecutor and I'm going to say, if you, knowing what I'm telling you now, and this goes to the judge, if you do not immediately file a nolle prosequi, a dismissal, after what I'm showing you, you will have the most colossal civil rights lawsuit you've ever seen. We're going to own Orem or Provo or whatever it's called. It's going to be called Robinsonville when we get done with you. You're putting this man, you're threatening him with a firing squad. And I'm telling you that the evidence I've got, you never called any, you've never even lifted a finger. Would you like, and now, by the way, this fellow O'Neill, he's got his issues. Some people say he might be full of shit regarding, I don't know. But, and I want to get that prosecutor and have him say, look, you don't understand something. I'm just a nobody here from Provo. These guys came in and made me do this. Who made you do this? The guys in the black suit? Is that it? Why are you doing this? What's the matter with you? Do you believe this shit? Are you looking at me and saying, you honestly think Tyler Robinson killed these people? This is where we start. Everything else, we'll get to that in a moment. He didn't kill these people. Forget Erica. I got to keep reminding you, put this, get that out of the way. Blake, all this Andrew, and who cares? Who cares? We'll get to that later. First things first. Because you're sitting here and this guy is languishing, and we will never know what Tyler says. That's why, Tyler, I swear to you, I don't want to be like this. But if there were two people who I would say I wouldn't give their life a plug nickel, is Ghislaine Maxwell. Remember, I'm telling you this, because that Epstein thing is still going on big time. It may not be in your top of mind, but it's going on. And also Tyler. If Tyler goes away, this whole thing goes away. It's done. He leaves a note. He was troubled. He acted weird. Right, guards? Right? Oh, yes, right. He was weird. Wait till they find out he never even confessed to his parents. And when Don Jr. comes forward. So anyway, so that's it. That's the most important. So we start off with that. It was an assassination, and it looks like it was either on that crazy Candace. Crazy. She's out of her mind. Her the exploding microphones. Yeah. Rob O'Neill, General Holt, they're saying that's exactly what we think. That's exactly what we think. It's not crazy in the least. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Now, here's what I want you to understand. And you are going to be saying this probably until you die. For as long as your beautifully long and healthy life allows. You will never get the true story behind this. Get it through your head. You'll never be satisfied. You'll never believe anything. Never. You will never get the why, who knew, who was a part of this. Why do I say this? Nobody is going after this except you, me, Candace, Barron. Nobody. Not the DOJ, not the officials. Nobody. They don't care about this. We're going to guess about it. Same thing with Jack Kennedy. Same thing with RFK. Dorothy Kilgallen, Marilyn Monroe. They probably killed her with an enema. I know you say that people laugh, but that's exactly how Bobby Kennedy and Peter Lawford probably held her down and stuck this thing for her and gave her this sedative, this overdose, because she couldn't swallow pills. Anyway, there are people who have devoted their life to that. They don't know. They don't know the role of J. Edgar Hoover. We don't know. They don't know the role of Mac Wallace at LBJ. We don't know. The people who suspect it. Our good friend Roger Stone has suspicions. He hasn't proved anything. You're never going to know this. You're never going to have Erica Kirk say, okay, all right, I got to tell you, I stopped it. These guys with accents came to me and said, listen, we're going to take Charlie out and we need your help. Okay. And I signed. It's not going to be like that. Is she weird? Absolutely. Is she treacherous? Is she venal? Is she shallow? Is she? Absolutely. That ain't enough. Half of the Fox News team would qualify. Let me show you something. Let me show you. This is the most important. You have to go. Mockingbird Media taught us one thing. We have our media folks who go in and they redirect attention. This is the part. Did you see that Usha had her baby, right? Usha had a little boy. This is J.D. Vance. By the way, J.D. Vance, as weird as you can get. The eyeliner, He changed his name 6 or 7 times. This guy, you know, he reminds me of like a Barack Obama kind of a central casting, like they plucked him out and they said, "You're going to be our guy." Palantir got a hold of him. Oh, Thiel owns Peter Thiel owns him. Don't get me wrong. JD Vance is as weird. This guy. Let me ask you something. How many times have you changed your name? Not you say your married name or spouse. None. You might go by a nickname or no. Do you have different backgrounds where you claim this, you said this, and it's all bullshit? No. There are these caricatures from central casting that Intel seems to be able to pull out of anywhere. He is so shady. He is so shady. And the guy who's gunning for him is Marco Rubio, who is so full of shit, who's not even a neocon. He's just dangerous. He'll do whatever. He'll blow the world up. That's over here. It's another issue. We'll get to that later. So anyway, when Ike trying to get him elected, well, maybe we think he was, and maybe, listen, Eric, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. And don't be surprised if Vance says, Erica, do me a favor. Don't tell people you're trying to help me. Don't, if you could, don't help me. Your name is not good right now. Your name is not good. Please don't do this. Just, okay. Well, anyway, remember when she like grabbed the back? Remember when, I don't have the picture, but this Erica was like, they were going to like do tonsil hockey. Like, what the hell's going on? She's like, grab us, inappropriate. I grabbed him by the neck. Same thing with Trump. Trump's not a real touchy feeling. Like, hey, what's going on here? Because Erica is her social, psychological, and emotional immaturity. She doesn't have breaks. She doesn't have circuit breakers. She doesn't know what's real. She's a mythomaniac. She's a pathological liar who creates fantasies. And in her crazy delusion, she might think she has some weird sexual or romantic ideation with JD Vance. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm overdoing it? I don't think so. And Usha, by the way, his wife, you could tell, did not care for this dame at all. Listen to me and listen carefully. If you're going to be a waitress, how many of you have ever tended bar or been a waitress? If you go to a couple and you're a woman and you want a tip, you make friends with that wife or that girlfriend. Immediately take yourself off the list of having idea. I know it sounds crazy. I don't care what your husband looks like. He can look like a fist with eyes, like Junior Samples. Doesn't matter. Have you ever seen a waitress flirt with the guy, with the husband? It's just the craziest thing in the world. Women have this radar. It's because nature makes you equipped to protect your brood, your youngins, and your man. And Usha never liked Erica, ever. So listen, jump straight to Fox News. Listen to what Fox News is doing, because they've been given the orders to try to rehabilitate Erica, and they're trying to work her into the story of JD and Usha's latest baby. Listen to this.
Erica Kirk really influenced Usha. She said that Erica said she wished she had more children.
Did you hear this bullshit? First of all, Usha, very advanced. What advanced? I think she went to Yale too. This is a very smart and a bright woman. And that sounds like that I don't know. I can't tell. I don't watch that bullshit. But anyway, listen to this. Listen to their story. Erica, this vacuous, insipid, airheaded dolt, not a killer, but dangerously stupid. Listen to this spin.
Erica Kirk really influenced Usha. She said that Erica said she wished she had more children with Charlie Kirk, and that helped lead their decision to expand their family to a family of 6.
Yeah, she and Erica Kirk
Bullshit.
are very, very close.
Bullshit.
And Charlie and Erica always were talking about expanding family.
No, they
were
didn't.
pro-family.
You're
And I feel
making
like this
this up.
White House has just championed family values.
What?
You know,
Trump?
it definitely has. And there's leading by example, I think, as the vice president explained back in January when he announced that USHA was expecting. And, you know, I know that that's a lot of the heartbeat of the vice president is policies that are pro-family, that
What?
encourage, enhance,
War?
and help families. And so this is just part of that picture of just who the Vances really are.
Not if you're a family in Gaza.
Closer than I.
Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me. Do you see? Stop. Do you see this? Do you see this? This is Mockingbird Media 101. But that's over here. That's not a part of the issue. That's interesting. That's like with the steakhouse and this. We'll get to that later. Fascinating, but this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. You don't know. You've never seen anything like this. You've never seen this before. This is bigger. So let's go back. Let's go to the blackboard. Let's take everything off. Let me get remember blackboards. Remember cleaning the anyway, cleaning the blackboard. Okay. 1, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. 2, by something unconventional, I would say professional, maybe a country, maybe not. You've got so many folks who are special ops and experts and jackals and mercs and private, who knows who, why, who benefit, everybody benefits. Okay, fine. We'll get to that later. This was not, let me go back again. Number 1, he was assassinated. Number 2, it was not Tyler Robinson. Number 3, I guess I'm changing the order, but this is something that's a little bit complicated for most people. Insight says Erica Kirk is a blackmail candidate. That's why she is used. Blackmail? Could be. Okay, put her over there. That's fine. I'm not. Next. Believe me, we don't even get to that if we don't get rid of this Tyler Robinson case. We don't get to that unless we dispel this. This is our number 1 concern. And the evidence is overwhelming. It's not him. Now we have to stop and say, okay, let's see what he says. Let's see what other people say. That's where we're going. But understand something. Do not jump way into and therefore, because Erica is a conniving, backstabbing, fake, phony, artificial, plastic personality, which she is. Therefore, she killed Charlie. Wait a minute. Hold it. That is another story. There is, and you must understand this, there is a real cold-blooded part of it that civilians don't really have. When you are in on a hit, General Holt said it, and I think O'Neill said it, but one of them said this, that there are experts, there are trained military folks who have PTSD. Do you know the number? Listen to this. Out of the self-harm that was done by veterans, many of them with PTSD, there's a huge proportion of them who never even saw combat. The human psyche is so frail that to be a part of something, and you go home and you're going to look at your kids and you took out their father, and you know either Gigi or the other, I don't even know who the other kid's name is. I hear Gigi. You know they probably are crying, missing their daddy, and you did this? And you sit there and go, that's okay, Gigi. Hey, that's the breaks. Look at it this way. Mama's in charge now. It's not that it takes a hardcore, it takes somebody who is like, it freaks you out big time. And I'm telling you, if I'm in charge of this stuff, and let's assume that anybody's smart enough to use shape charge or exploding mics or whatever the hell this thing was, They know a little bit about operations. And I only want people who know what they're doing. And what I want more than anything else is somebody who's a professional, somebody who's done this before. That's all. And I'm not going to get this dingleberry to sit there, this dingleberry, to act, to say something, slip up, cry, get Jesus, have a moment of, oh, I got to, the Lord. I'm not mocking that, but who knows? Gets a hold of some pastor or somebody who freaks her out and says, you're looking at, she goes into a psychiatric kind of a fog, a fugue, some psychotic where she's talking about hell and the hereafter, and she's got to repent, and you killed your, this is spousal assassination. I'm not going to take any chance of this. This dingbat, I don't want her anywhere near this. No. And listen, I don't want to keep saying this. Blake, come on. Look at him. Do I have to explain to you what Blake is? You've been around, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay. And these other little girls, Benny Johnson, Posobia, who's this guy? Who are these people? Nobody knows. Well, Posobiec was Navy intel. Bullshit. All these, it might have been, but everybody who keeps saying, I'm intel, the real intel people, you have no idea who these people are. They might have done something, but it's like it's this new. There was a guy years ago, the first one ever to say, I'm ex-CIA. I don't know where he is now, but he was in the talk radio realm. Let me explain to you this guy. Why this man, let me stop for a second. Whenever you meet somebody, you meet a client, you do a psychiatric intake, you're a cop, you come across somebody, you meet them. Maybe you're at a party. Maybe you're immediately going, ding, 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 you're taking snapshots and you're saying, how are these people acting? Are they blinking? Do they look at me? Do they look down? Do they ever smile? You're doing assessments so fast. You don't even realize it. You're making all these, wow. And blind people can do it. Deaf people can do it. Just because you don't have all of your senses, you'll be able to adjust accordingly. There's also somebody who says, when you're in the world today, and the biggest problem is that because this particular platforming is so raw, because it's so, what's the word? Because it's so pedestrian sometimes, which is a good thing. We get people, we give them a mic, and they have absolutely no communicative ability whatsoever. They're horrible, or they're weird, or they're strange, or they want to be something. There's a whole bunch of folk. I'm not going to say this, but every now and then you'll say something where you realize, oh, see this lady here? She just thinks her sexiness is going to take over. That doesn't work. If you want to go in and you want to do this, have something other than your good looks, because that gets old real thin. So anyway, so this proboscis, Posobiec, this guy all of a sudden became the point man. And if there is a guy who is absolutely the weirdest dude ever, is this feller. Watch this.
About saying the rosary every day in the courtroom.
Stop right now. He always looks like, I don't know who the guy on the right is. He looks like Kyriakou. He's a cross between Kyriakou and somebody else. Anyway, Jack here never smiles, never bats an eye, never anything. He's a super Christian. They're doing a rosary in the courtroom every day. You ever do a rosary? 20 minutes if you're on lightning speed. Every day. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm thinking, don't say you did something if you didn't do it. That's not, and if you go the full 9 houses, I mean, it could take hours. But the point is, immediately, his whole thing is, I'm former intel, and I'm super Christian, super Catholic. How about a novena? I wore a scapula. I did the Stations of the Cross. I'm going to out Catholic you. Who is this again? Newsmax.
You talked about saying the rosary every day in the courtroom. I mean, I can't even imagine. What was the mood in the room when the judge ended the hearing without a ruling?
Now listen, stop. Remember, he ended without a ruling because he wanted people to make their, and September's too much, but he wanted people to, to make their argument. He's going to find probable cause. You know that. Everybody knows that. We know that. Okay. But anyway, enough about me. Look at Mr. Sincere here. He looks like they just gave him, like an enema, and they say, listen, hold it. Can you hold this? Yeah. The bathroom, he'll be done in a minute. I'm sorry, Mr. Probiotic. We shouldn't have done this. Can you just hold that? I know we gave you just hold it. They'll be done in a minute with this restroom, but just hold it. He always looks like he's holding it, like he's in severe pain.
Well, thank you, Christopher, for mentioning that. And it was a rough week, to be sure. And look, we kind of had already known, I would say.
Who are you, by the way? What are you, the family? Why was it a rough week? Are you the family? Are you sentient? Are you empathic? Why was it a rough week for you?
That was the way that it had shifted. Look, we want closure here.
We want closure. Who are you? Are you a part of the family? Were you entrusted with this? Are you speaking on behalf of us? Look at that shifty eye. Who are you?
And what was even more emotional, I think, was watching that video that they played of Tyler Robinson on.
That people are yelling bullshit. You're gonna own this one, Jackie. You're gonna own this one. You were the first one to say, I saw it. Other people say, no, he didn't see it. There was no such thing. What are you talking about? Every news organization refuted it. You made your bed, my friend. You're going to own this one.
On the roof, crawling out with the gun the moment the shot is fired, and then running back across the roof. The fact that that's on video, but the video still won't be released yet because
it's not a trial yet, because there's this thing called due process. Come on, man.
The judge ruled that it could only be played in the courtroom. So we now have to wait until September. We have to wait for evidence to be released. And it just seems like it's delay after delay. And I believe that justice delayed is justice denied.
But you're not the defendant. It's not about you. It's not about you. You do know this, right? I mean, this is rudimentary. This is axiomatic. This is abecedarian. This is elemental. Everybody knows this. So you see what's going on right now? Who are these people muddying up the works? But I say, remember, let's take this chalkboard, get rid of all this stuff about Posobiec and Erica and this one and that one, and he had the steak and he stayed home. That's good. That's good. That's good. That'll help later on with the alibi and other things as well. But I'm not going to get to an alibi if you can't even connect a rifle. If you can't connect Tyler with shooting that any gun or anything, how are you going to go to court? I keep saying this since day one. And you say, by the way, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we want you to find this man guilty, but we don't have a gun. So he used, deadly powers or something. We won't even get to that. The judge may say, I'm going to either, I don't know if he's going to dismiss it yet, but he's going to say ultimately, well, you can't mention a gun if you can't link it. It's inconclusive. You can't put this is my lint brush. This lint brush has no connection whatsoever to the death of Charlie. Same thing with this guy. So if we don't even get to that, and the confessions, there are no, wait till you see this one. So let me tell you something. That's where we stand. And the bottom line is this. Who was it? How did he die? I want to know specifically what it was. I want to see that. I'm going to get my people in there. Look at this. Get that baggie. You obviously pull this stuff out. Look at the fragments. Look at it. Tell me, what is that? Is that from a round? Can you tell? What is that? Look at that. Have you ever seen this? Does this look like what it looks? What kind of a round? Forget the 30-06. That's done. But now we've got Rob O'Neill. We got General Holt. We got other people coming forward. We won't get to this later. This is the gravamen. If there's no gun, if there's no murder weapon, there's no anything. There's no nothing. We'll never even. And besides that, he was getting a steak, medium rare, with mashed potatoes and veggies at the place 3 hours away. Whatever it was. We'll get to that later. And not only that, there were different Dodge Chargers, and they were maroon, and this one, that. We'll get to that later. We don't even get to that. And not only that, Eric is full of shit. and she did this. We won't even get to that. We won't even get to, and for what you go, we won't get to that. And we won't get to that. And Mitch Snow, we won't get to that. We don't even, it's done. Now, once he's acquitted, then you go back and you say, come here. Who are you? I'll get a hold of Sean Stone, my old pal, Oliver Stone, and we say, we're going to do a movie. And we want to have the second JFK. This is what we do. Everybody pony up, okay? Get all you people together. And I want you to put this thing on absolutely fast. We're going to put on a show with Candace and Barron and everybody you've ever met. And this is going to be part one. And you're going to put this, and it's going to be so well edited, so documented. It's going to be so beautifully done. It will be for posterity. And people will say, holy shit. And where's it going to be released? Movie theaters? Oh, no. Everybody will watch it. Do you remember Loose Change? Dylan Avery? Remember him? Loose Change. Loose Change got it all going. Loose Change was the Zapruder film. It was JFK of 9/11. Absolutely, positively. All the President's Men? Bullshit. Bullshit. You want to talk about somebody who's intel? Bob Woodward. Because they never tell you that Deep Throat was Alexander Haig, not Mark Felt. But this is a different story. That was another story. I've been through this my whole life. I've seen this a million times. I swear to God, I've seen this. I know what I'm talking about here. I know what I'm talking about. So we're going to leave it at that. You were terrific. I'm going to watch Barron's show. I'm going to watch Karen. Candace is back today. An hour and 41. This is very good. By the way, do me a favor. Give yourself a round of applause. I want to challenge you. Challenge me. Just tell me. Make your case. You're fantastic. I sharpen my ability to understand it, and I hope I make you think, okay, because together we don't want yes men. We don't want to say, yeah, that's it. No, sometimes maybe it's not true. But right now, as we speak, TPUSA, Erica, they're on the last. I hope they're getting their stuff together and putting their personal effects in a box and maybe making for the next transition, hoping to God nobody starts looking at them, because there is no TPUSA. I mean, there is, but without Charlie, what is it? Where's the campus ministry? Where are people going? Where Charlie had a loving side to him. He exuded warmth and connectivity. He made people feel like, it's okay. I'm your friend. You know, I'm not just some weird, you know what I mean? I'm your friend. I'm critical in this whole thing. What we're seeing, interestingly enough, is something which is so bizarre. It's like nothing I ever thought even remotely possible. So, my friends, I thank you. Great points. Great analysis. I love you to death. Let's continue with this. Please do me a favor. Remember, we're all in the same team. Justice for Charlie. And if that means getting Erica, great. If that doesn't mean Erica, okay, whatever. We'll get to her later. She's done. She's finished. She'll never have a game show. She'll never have the book. You know what they'll do? She'll write some book. Amazon will make a deal to say, just like with Obama and Michelle, it's a bestseller. Nobody bought them because Amazon tells you whatever they want. Amazon tells you, yeah, that was a big seller. How many? Oh, here are the numbers. Really? Can you verify this? No. But she's done. There's no, and they know it. And frankly, a lot of people are saying, Erica, we're tired of helping you, because all of those women on the couch and on Fox News, they don't like her. Do you really think they feel any connection to her? Absolutely not. Because they know she's a poser, she's a pain in the ass, and she's dumb as rocks. And they know this, and they don't like her. And they're tired of having to keep promoting this. She's so wonderful, she's so great. Nobody does. You know that. We all know this. Anyway, my friends, thank you so much. Have a great and glorious day. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, hit that little buzzer, that button to let you know, that bell rather, when we have live new films, new videos, or live schedule. Anyway, thank you. I am invigorated. An hour and 45 minutes. That's pretty good. Barron does it. How he goes on that long every day? Iron Man, like Charlie's vertebrae. That's who he is. In any event, I love you folks. See ya. Don't forget, Monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.